China, the undisputed electric vehicle kingpin, just pulled a game changer that's leaving global markets reeling and President Biden speechless. They slammed the brakes on exporting key EV components, triggering a potential crash that could leave your dream electric ride stranded on the side of the information highway. In this video, we will reveal why China's ban is the biggest reason for the recent EV crash, as mainstream media are hiding the facts about it. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. The United States is currently experiencing a significant challenge in the electric vehicle market due to an export ban imposed by China. This surprising decision has caught President Joe Biden off guard and is causing a substantial drop in the already struggling EV market. The industry faces various challenges, including EV fires, high prices, charging complications, and sluggish sales. Now it is encountering another vital setback. China's response to Joe Biden is a major export ban, which could result in the loss of jobs for many American workers and hurt the EV market. This move has major consequences that raise important questions regarding the future of EVs and China's influence in shaping the global automotive industry. Given the current circumstances and the ongoing obstacles in the industry, one cannot help but question the long-term viability of the EV market. In the middle of this, a secret handshake between Joe Biden and China adds an exciting twist to the story. So let's expose this political EV scam, shedding light on information concealed from the public. In 2017, Chinese suppliers were the go-to for electric vehicle raw materials. Let's look into what happened. It was too tempting to pass up. A treasure trove of raw materials at unbelievably low prices. An image of the American dream. But the average person didn't know that a secret game was happening. This game was meant to hurt the economy and stop the current trend of expensive EVs. Now China, being the big boss of rare earth metals, you know, the stuff that makes EV batteries tick, decided to drop a bomb on this. They slapped an export ban on the US, meaning no more accessible access to rare earth minerals like lithium and nickel. If you're wondering why rare earth metals are such a big deal, let me break it down. They're like the secret sauce for EV batteries, the real MVPs. We're talking about the life force of the whole EV industry, and guess what? China's been holding a whopping 35% of the world's metal reserve. No wonder they've been the kings of this game for ages. So you're probably asking, what's China's deal with suddenly cutting off rare earth supply? Good question. This move is shaking up not just our wallets, but the whole vibe of affordable EVs. They're playing chess with the global EV market, making us rethink everything. So China, a powerhouse behind rare earth metals, produces 80% of the global supply. If you dream of an electric future, you depend on China to keep that dream alive. Now, China's ban is like a rock thrown into a calm pond, creating ripples that might turn into a massive EV crash. Why? Well, it turns out that the US banned China's semiconductor supply earlier, playing hardball in the global tension game. And now China's firing back. They said, oh, you want to mess with our semiconductors? How about we shake up your entire EV market? It's not just a minor hiccup. We're discussing potential production delays, price hikes, and many nail-biting in boardrooms worldwide. Currently, EV makers are scrambling like crazy to find alternative resources for their crucial metals. But not all news is doom and gloom. This crash is a silver lining for gas cars. With EVs taking a hit, car makers can shift some focus back to good old gas cars. So there's a twist in the story. Now let's talk about how this will hit your wallet. This export ban is like a financial earthquake. The cost of these essential metals is skyrocketing faster than a SpaceX launch. What does that mean for you? Making EVs just got a lot pricier. Now, the smaller players in the EV pond are hitting the panic button hard. The cost of these essential metals is skyrocketing, making the whole EV making game a lot pricier. This is a full-blown nightmare for the little guys in the EV world. EVs were already gathering dust on dealer lots. And with this new ban, sales are about to nosedive even further, throwing a wrench into Joe Biden's already shaky plan to shove EVs down the common man's throat. Despite warnings from dealers and automakers telling Joe Biden not to cozy up with China, he's been unleashing strict emissions laws left and right. The idea? Force companies to sell only EVs. But wait, there's more. Just last week, he did something that made our heads spin. He vetoed a law that was all about keeping things local, especially for those EV charging stations popping up everywhere. You might think, supporting local sounds like a great idea, and you're spot on. This law wanted to ensure that all the stuff used to build these chargers, steel, iron, you name it, came from right here in the good old US of A. Sounds patriotic, right? Keep jobs local, support American workers, all that jazz. But because the law also said that if we stuck to this Buy America rule, it could slow down the process of getting these charging stations up and running. And guess what? With the world trying to snag these chargers thanks to the big EV boom, sticking to just US materials could make things slower than a snail and costlier than a spaceship. So what does Biden do? He's now using this as an excuse to buy stuff from China to build these chargers. It's like saying, well, we want local, but not too local, you know? The situation is becoming so out of control. And yes, I can hear you clearly. The EV market will crash. But before we get into the doomsday predictions, stroll down to your local dealer lot, and you'll be hit with a shock. Rows of EVs sitting there, looking all shiny and new, but strangely discounted. This isn't some overnight crash triggered by China. It's a long game involving shipping out risky EVs that, believe it or not, have even caused fatalities. Now, suppose you walk into a dealership and what do you see? Rows of unsold EVs just gathering dust. It's a bizarre scene, considering we've been bombarded with messages about EVs being the next big thing. Dealerships are practically drowning in unsold cars, with some brands reporting over 90 days worth of stock, just lounging around. In perspective, it's like having enough cars to last until the next season without selling one. And the numbers are mind-boggling. A 5 to 6% increase in EV inventories compared to last year. That's just bananas. Now, why is this happening? It's a bit of a roller coaster ride. First things first, these high-tech marvels don't come cheap. Even with price tags getting trimmed and the government throwing tax incentives around like magic wands, the average Joe and Jane still give EVs the skeptical side eye. The average price for a new EV took a nosedive from around $65,900 to $50,683. But that's still a hefty chunk of change, more than your average gas guzzler. But it's not just the sticker price causing people to hesitate. People are scratching their heads over the total cost of owning an EV. Think about it. Installing a home charger can set you back a couple of grand. Insurance premiums are through the roof. And let's not even get started on the repair bills. There have been cases where people cough up as much as $50,000 just to fix a scratch on their EV battery. Yes, you heard it right. $50,000 for a scratch. Let that sink in for a moment. The EV dream might be hitting a few speed bumps that no one saw coming. Besides all this, the EV market is facing a colossal problem that nobody saw coming. EV fires. And guess what? The US's heavy reliance on China for EV parts is a major culprit. We've been getting subpar parts and shoddy materials from the Chinese, leading to cases where people have lost their lives. Take Teslas, for example. If you've ever sat in one, you'd know the interior quality isn't top-notch. Massive panel gaps, rattling noises, software glitches, and the absolute nightmare began when these subpar Teslas started catching fire, burning down houses, and tragically trapping owners inside. Teslas are giving up the ghost in the middle of the road due to cold weather. People are finally waking up to the fact that EVs struggle in chilly conditions. You know what never freezes in cold weather? Gasoline. How can the average Joe save himself from this impending market crash and avoid shelling out big bucks for these overpriced cars? Here's the blunt truth. EVs are not the future. They are a big scam meant to crush the middle class. So should the US continue relying on China for EV production? Is it a wise move to buy an EV right now? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.